My brothers, sisters, peace be unto you tonight. Tonight, Philip J. Pierre was in fine form. The comrade, my comrade in arms, who stood by me for all these years, he was in fine form. But there's only one thing. I still have to rehearse him when he wants to talk about Guy Joseph. Y poco a one manière pour faire Guy Joseph. Ngai mucho. Bawe, they take the grass from behind the grass. Pakosa. They cut the grass from behind the grass, and they take the grass from behind the grass and put it at the side of the grass by the road. They take the grass from behind the grass, they cut the grass from behind the grass, and take the grass from behind the grass and put it at the side of the road. That's how he does it. But tonight, when I was coming here, I was thinking about what to talk to you. And there were the words of Matthew chapter 7 verse 16 ringing in my ears. And this is what it says. By their fruits you will know them. And you tonight, you may not use that language, but you say to yourself, it's not words, but deeds. When you are in love, when a man tells a woman, I love you, the woman says to him, it's not your words, but your deeds. When a pastor says, thou must not commit fornication, the congregation says, it's not your words, but your deeds. By your fruits you shall know them. When the teacher says that you must believe in A, in B, the children, the student is entitled to tell the teacher, words are not enough. Deeds matter. So it is with politicians. You cannot judge them by their words. You must judge them by their deeds. You must look at the fruits that they produce. You can only know your politicians by the fruits of their work. That's how you know your politicians. Do they keep their promises? Are they faithful to you? Do they practice what they preach? You will not be known by words, but by deeds. Some of you in this crowd tonight, I know, must be wondering whether you should give Shasne a chance. Whether you should give the UWP a chance. Do you want to give him a chance? But that judgment is a right judgment. Because you see, you will not know Shasne by his words. You will know him by his deeds. He was in office for 5 years. He was a minister for 5 years. And I want to ask you tonight, ask any flabo who's in this crowd tonight. Ask any member of the media who has been advertising Shaste for the last 10 years. Tell me one thing that Shaste did in 5 years that benefited the ordinary people of this country. Tell me one thing that Shaste did that benefited the poor of this country. Tell me one thing that Shaste did that benefited the workers of this country. Even the workers he fought today. We have a labor code. Thanks to this labor government. Shaste fought that labor code. He fought the trade unions. He fought the workers because he didn't want a labor code to protect the workers of this country. All we remember the episodes with Shaste. Got into office within weeks, fired hostesses in Soufrière, boxing in paradise, wasted millions. As Philip said, 800,000 US for a tent. Apple, 30,000. But Philip made an important point. Shaste tells the people of St. Lucia he can bring back investment. He was Minister of Tourism for 5 years. No one in this crowd, no one in this country can show me one hotel, one room that was built when Shaste was Minister of Tourism. Not a single investment in 5 years. And then they talk about jobs. When the people of this country sent the Labour Party into purgatory in 2006, we left them with an unemployment rate of 12.5. In 5 years, they took it up to 23.5. And you want to tell me about jobs? I say, deeds, not words. Deeds, not words. You saw their fruits. By their fruits, you will know them. And what did they produce? Warfare. Warfare inside the cabinet. And then they did something that has brought the reputation of this country, the reputation of this country to rock bottom. They hurt our relationship with the United States of America. For the first time in the history of St. Lucia, we had a government that did something that caused the United States of America to put sanctions on our police force. They are the ones who initiated Operation Restore Confidence. They are the ones who are responsible for the so-called extrajudicial killings. And the same Shaste who goes about and tell people that he can solve Operation Restore Confidence. He was in that cabinet along with Guy Myers when they introduced Operation Restore Confidence. He was as responsible for what happened as Guy Myers. But Guy Myers must take full responsibility for Operation Restore Confidence because he was the one who ensured its implementation. I don't have blood on my hands. I have never given the police instructions to cut down St. Lucians. Never. And I don't have to, because they know whatever they do, as far as this Labour administration is concerned, they must do it in accordance with the law. And I'm not finished with Guy Myers, because Guy Myers, more than anybody else in this country, must take responsibility for what the United States has imposed on people of St. Lucia. And you tell me, how could the Americans trust an Alan Chesney, who sat inside the cabinet and agreed to an operation restore confidence because he felt it was good for tourism? Ask him. And I'm telling you, he can provide no answers. Deeds, not words. We judge by deeds, not words. We judge by the fruits of your labor. And I don't have to tell you, never before in this country, never before have we seen so much thieving of government resources. Never. But patience. But you have seen the fruits of your Labour government. That is why you can trust it. We do not live by words, we live by deeds. And that is what Philip was telling you tonight. We told you we have a problem of unemployment. We told you we are unhappy that we still have high unemployment in our country. But watch our deeds. We have brought it down. We have reduced it. We created NICE, the cruise ship employment program. And now construction is booming again in this country. And we are a government to prepare our country for the future. That is why we give every child in Form 3 laptops today. And you know what? I watched to my astonishment in the House of Parliament when Gail stood up in Parliament and Gail said that the government should not be giving laptops to school children. Rather, what they should go and do is build computer labs and let them use the labs. And today, in every education system in the world, that's what they're giving children. When the Labour Party gives your children a laptop, your children is no different from a child in Norway, in England, in France, in Spain, in Canada, in the United States. And look, things were tough, things were hard, but we made a difference. Today, every poor family in this country who has a child going to a secondary school, once you get admitted into a secondary school, you get a $500 grant from the government. But I want to continue the work in education. I promise the parents of this country, I told them once that no child should be disadvantaged from sitting CXC examinations because the parents cannot pay CXC fees. My only problem is this. I don't want a government just to pay CXC fees and then the children fail. I want a system that will reward performance with support. And I promise you that come next year, not this year because it is too late, this government will bring you relief on CXC fees. That the poor people of St. Lucia will not have to pay for CXC fees so that their children can sit examinations. That's what we are about. We will continue the revolution in education. We will continue to make the difference. I tell you, deeds, not words. Do not judge us by our words, but judge us by our deeds. And tonight, I want you to remember me. Remember for the future. There is something we have been speaking about that will change the landscape of this country. This government has long said that it wants to build a highway connecting the northern part of the country, going through the Babonneau area straight down onto Dennery on the East Coast. They tell me it's a pipe dream. But I'm getting closer, and I'll tell you why. Philip Pierre's ministry will finally be getting the consultancy report. And I tell you how I'm going to tell you how I'm going to finance it. Because I want to see that highway linking Grosley direct to Dennery so that it can open this entire northern corridor right along the East Coast onto Dennery. That's my vision. And before I lay down, before I put my head to rest, I want to be sure that everything is in place for that highway for the people of this country. And you know how we're going to finance it? I'll tell you. Sometime last year, I wrote the British government. I told them they have to change their support for the Caribbean. They have to give us, in our part of the world, more support. The Prime Minister wrote me back, Cameron, and he said to me that he agrees with me that the British government will change its position. And last year, late last year, they announced that they will give the Caribbean a grant of £300 million for infrastructure projects. St. Lucia's share in that £300 million is £40 million. That is the money that we are earmarking to construct that road from Grosley in the north to Dennery. We have to think about the future of this country. We do not exist for today. Yes, we have to solve your problems today, like we have to solve your problems of healthcare. And I want you to give me the tools, because I want to put an end to the hardship that you have in healthcare. It can't be right that in this day and age, St. Lucians have to go overseas to go and look for medical treatment. It can't be right that we have to be back in Martinique. We have to be back in Cuba. We have to be back in Barbados. We have to be back in Trinidad to give you health care. Nous pas supposés conduire un pays comme ça. Là où pièce de lycéen, il va dans l'hôpital. Yo supposé savent là il y a un système en place pour garder après ça. But you can help me by giving me the tools. Because in the next term, healthcare has to be our number one priority. We have to give every St. Lucian peace of mind. resolve it once and for all. And that is what this election is about. Giving the Labour Party the tools to finish the job. But to do it, as my friend to my left says, you have to go and vote. You have to go and vote. There are some people in this country discouraging you from going to vote. There are some people in this country telling you all politicians are the same. Don't go and vote. The UWP don't want you to go and vote. But you see, this election, your country is at stake. The future of your country is at stake. We have to decide whether we're going to be 100% solutions or not. And in this election, this is what the election is about. Defining the future of this country. That is what it is about. But let me warn you, Chastain is a desperate man. I have fought elections for 20 years. So has Philip. And it is a usual thing for every election that we have people from the region and abroad who come and give you advice. Because sometimes you need a different voice. In all my life, I have never seen any political party that has as many consultants in St. Lucia working for him as Alan Chastain. Never. He bring down 2 Jamaicans. They're all over the place. That enough. He bring down 2 Bajans. That enough. When he finish, he go to St. Kitts. He go to St. Kitts. He get the Prime Minister of St. Kitts to recruit for him a psychologist. Serious. A psychologist to see if the psychologist can find out what is wrong with the head of UWP candidates to get them to work together. I know you think I'm joking, you know. If you want me to give you the name of the psychologist, I can tell you, because the psychologist came from the University of the West Indies in Barbados. Anybody who leave the university and come and talk to any political party, I must know and I will know. Because that's where I come from. That's where I come from. But that ain't enough. That is not enough. He bring down consultants from England. And nothing wrong in bringing 1 or 2 consultants. But what are you doing with all these consultants? You think that will be enough? He now bring down a team of Trinidadians to see if they can dig up dirt on the Labour Party for the campaign. So, we're not just fighting Alan Chastain and the UWP. As I said to you before, you have to separate the Chastains and the UWP. But we are fighting now a political party who cannot trust the people of St. Lucia and must rely mainly and almost exclusively on foreign consultants. But we will defeat them. We are going to defeat them because we are St. Lucians. We are going to protect our country, and we will protect our country from them. Nothing wrong in bringing consultants, nothing wrong. But when you tell me one little election, you bring down Jamaicans, you bring down Trinidadians, you bring down Bajans, you bringing psychologists, you bring in social media people, all of that to fight on a little election. But you must be on your guard. I tell you, he's a desperate man. You will hear announcements like you've never heard before. And I want to touch a sensitive one. Let me touch a sensitive one. VAT. You know, all the islands of the Caribbean have VAT. Barbados, Grenada, St. Vincent, Dominica, Jamaica, Trinidad, all of them VAT. Now, two things. Don't be surprised if Alan Chastain telling you he gonna change VAT, remove VAT, and he gonna put another thing called a sales tax. Remember that? Watch out for it. That's his style. Then he gonna come and tell you, oh, you gonna reduce VAT, we gonna reduce VAT. Watch out for it. But I'll tell you what happened in Trinidad and Tobago. That is why St. Lucians must not be fooled. The Prime Minister of Trinidad and Tobago told the people of Trinidad, Trinidad is in problems because of the price of oil. Although these days the price is going back up. And he said to the people of Trinidad, look to your neighbor, look to St. Lucia, where the people of St. Lucia made the strong decisions to protect the economy. He asked the people of Trinidad to look for the example of the people of St. Lucia. But you know what he did? You know what he did? In Trinidad, the former government decided to take out about 5,000 food articles from VAT and zero rate them. Took them out, no VAT. They say they were helping out the poor in Trinidad. But you know what Rowley did? Rowley decided he will reduce VAT in Trinidad from 15 to 12.5%. But all the articles on food that did not attract VAT, that was zero rated, they took about 5,000 of them and brought it back into VAT at 12.5. And you know what's happening in Trinidad? The poor people in Trinidad are beginning to scream. They are beginning to scream. Although they are paying 12.5, they are now getting very few items that are VAT exempt or zero rated. All these items have come back into VAT. And so you hear them screaming that the poor have been assaulted, that the poor have had a raw deal. These are the things you must expect of Chastain. But you must know that once you say you touch VAT, if you say you reduce VAT by 1%, you're losing $10 million. If you reduce it by 2%, you're losing $20 million. If you reduce it by 2.5% in St. Lucia, you are losing $25 million. And that's the problem. The problem is, if you're going to lose it, so qu'il perd l'argent au café, $25 millions. Qui compte ou qu'il prend l'argent ça là? Qui laisse taxe neuf ou qu'il mette à ce monde pour joindre VAT ça là? Qui manière ou qu'il paye pour l'hôpital ou? Qui manière ou qu'il mange chez moi? And these are the things that you must watch. It will be the season of recklessness. But this government has brought you this far. And the future finally is beginning to look good for this country. Investment is coming back. The jobs are coming back. The price of fuel is at its lowest ever. NICE is going strong. And how you tell a government? Qui bannière qui a passé jugement sur un gouvernement? Qui bannière qui a connaître chaque gouvernement, les gouvernements en office? Qui bannière qui a passé jugement? Deeds, not words. You will be known by your deeds, not words. And you want to find out tonight. The many of you had know that tomorrow, if you have elderly people at your homes, this Labour Party is looking after them. You can go to work tomorrow because you know that someone, a home help caregiver, is going to that elderly person and looking after that elderly person. That is compassion. That is feeling for your fellow man. That is what you call love, care, concern. When we give $500 to every parent who has a child going to a secondary school, we not only want our poor people to feel equal to everybody else, but that is a statement of our love, our compassion, our care, our concern. That is why we can say we are 100% St. Lucian, because we understand the heart, the soul of the people of St. Lucia. I tell you, judge people by their deeds, not words, but deeds. Know the fruits of their work, of their labor. And I ask you tonight, you heard her, to judge Alvina by her works. Judge her by her deeds. No parliamentary representative is perfect. All of us have faults. Sometimes we are short-tempered. Sometimes we can't manage things to make everybody happy. Sometimes we're not always able to visit you in your homes. Sometimes we are not able to give you what you want. But I'll tell you one thing about Alvina Reynolds. She has a heart of gold. That lady has a heart of gold. She feels for you. She feels for this constituency. She talks about the young people here all the time. Alvina touches lives. She brings her emotion, her spirit, her love, her compassion. Alvina is sincere. She's committed. She's dedicated. She's all of those things. And I want to say to you that while she may not be perfect, but I want to put it to you that you have had one of the best parliamentary representatives in a long time. And she deserves your support. So judge her by her deeds. So you are in a season of judgment. You will have to judge us. You will have to judge Alvina. That is the season of judgment. And because the future of this country is so important to all of us, we have to be careful the judgment that we pass. And tonight, I want to speak to you Labourites directly. Whatever you do, never ever forget 2006. Never. Some of you thought in 2006 that we had won the election and you didn't go and vote because you thought we had won. Some of you were fooled by the sweet words of the UWP. We warned you. When we told you they will do away with step. Upadekwesa. We warned you. When we warned you about what they will do in education, let nous te disons, yo te pate vle le bakod la bay travailler. Yo do ko ha, mon hotel, pa vle le bakod, yo kitay. C'est là nous bayon pressure. Yo viens à Kaikosit. You cannot afford to make this mistake this time. You have to go out to vote. They will tempt you and tell you tout politiciens c'est même pas y vote. That's their campaign these days. They want a low turnout. But this time around, you have to go out in your thousands, in your hundreds. Because the future of this country is what is at stake. And here on this side, we say two things to you. Judge us by our deeds. That's the first. The second thing we say to you, we have now brought this country around. Give us the tools. Babonneau zotia pour finir travail là. And the only way you can do that is to make sure you turn out on election day in your numbers. Awoosh! Awoosh! Good night. God bless you. Peace be with you tonight.